The taxation in general is crazy. I mean, if you look at it before, the US was thriving prior to, the taxation, property tax. There was no federal income tax prior to 1913. All the money you made, you took. It's crazy because if you think about it, how the country was founded in general was off of a 3% tea tax. Like people were getting mad about 3% on tea. Now we're gladly giving 50% of our money unaudited. We don't even know where the hell it goes. And obviously we know, but we can't audit them. And it's pretty crazy, man. It's sad. It's really theft. You're paying taxes you're basically making money. Then you're getting taxed on that money, and then you're paying a sales tax on that money you're getting taxed on, and then that money you're basically getting taxed on is going to people that you have no idea where the hell it's going. It's just the biggest freaking Ponzi scheme. And
with all that inflation on top of it.
oh yeah, 100%. That's why we need decentralized finance, and that's where Pulsechain and DAI comes into play, and that's why they freaking killed that guy that created MakerDAO. There it is. They want to destroy anything and everything that comes in their way. Period.
It's like, why doesn't the public school system ever talk about where money comes from in the Federal Reserve? And
because they want to.
No, I know it's rhetorical. It's rhetorical. It's just like, it's like a lot of people like us, but we're not like the average people, Like the average person doesn't. It's like a lot of them need somebody to point them in the right direction, to ask the questions, to be curious about why things are the way they are and how things work, and not just accepting the status quo. But they can't get outside of the status quo because they're so, into TV shows or whatever game, or I don't know. They're just stuck in that status quo, and they can't find the way out of it, man. The Matrix is really the perfect movie for so many analogies with the Matrix.
I agree. It's all in the education system. It starts with that. Just like what Coach was talking about. They start you when you're 3, 4 years old, and they put you in this public school system. They teach you how to write about adjectives and nouns 100 different ways. They teach you about science that's fake. They put you in school. It's literally. It's crazy. They stuff you with one. Like if you think about how the school system works in high school or junior high, it's like 6 or 7 periods. They literally whirlwind the kid into learning. You're 50 minutes into one subject, then you're 50 minutes into the next subject. You're 50 minutes into the next subject. You don't retain any information. You're literally whirlwinded. And then you go home and you're like, "What the hell did I just learn as a kid?" Obviously, none of it matters anyway. And it's just crazy. They don't teach you how to pay taxes. They don't teach you what money is. They don't teach you about any of those things. And it's sad, but it's all written. They talk about it. Obviously, the people that want to control you, they write about it and they say what their goals are and what they're trying to do, and they take over slowly but surely. You take over a nation by just dumbing them down and fear mongering and division, and that's what they've done throughout the years. That's why I really feel strong about crypto, because it's really, like what Richard Hart preaches, freedom of transacting is the basic fundamental freedom of speech, and being able to do all these things is just breaking the system. They can't handle it. They cannot handle it. And that's why they try to do all these different things as far as regulating and this and that, but it ain't going anywhere. They can't regulate crypto. It's in my opinion, it's simple. They can't, and that's how it's supposed to be. Before, people had money in their mattress. They don't want dollars, They don't want you to transact with cash. They're trying to eliminate cash. It's the same thing. They want to control every little thing, and they're not going to be able to do that with crypto, and that's why they're trying so hard to stop it. But I really feel like it's done. It's out there. When Bitcoin started, in my opinion, right? Was it 2008, 2009? That's after the financial recession, when all the big banks, got cracked because of what they were doing in the markets. And I feel that's why Bitcoin started. I mean, my theory is, I don't know, this is just a guess, but just based on outcomes and events over the centuries, is that Bitcoin was founded as a white hat operation just to basically take out the Federal Reserve and take out the banking system in general. With Satoshi, all these things. I don't know who that is. You never know. It might be military. Who knows? But in reality, it started something to a technology to get people to go away from those things, as far as the dollar and stuff. And obviously, it takes time. We live in a fast-paced society where we want things instantly. We want to be millionaires right overnight. We want to be rich right away, and we can't. We have to understand. Like, that's why Richard Hart, man, he keeps preaching delayed gratification. It's there. It takes time. It took a whole bunch of time to get a nation to submit and a population to submit. It's going to take a lot of time to kind of reverse it. It's not going to happen overnight, in my opinion. And we just got to understand that we just got to keep cracking and chipping away at it. And, the freedom is there with the blockchain technology. And I think obviously Bitcoin was the start of it, just to kind of get it out there. And it's obviously not perfect with time, the DeFi, what we see now and how it is, it's just, I'm looking ahead, man, and it's crazy how it works. It's what we need, the markets in general, with, I could see how the whole world runs around it and they can't stop it. Being able to transact, like you see people transacting in other countries with Bitcoin in general, your crypto, whatever, like they don't want to get paid in their diminished money. You go to like countries in Africa where the inflation is exponentially crazy. It's triple digits, Argentina, triple digits. It's Venezuela, like all these different areas in the world. And you can't do that with crypto, in my opinion. And that's why all these different components, that's why I love, Pulsechain, Pulsex, of course, and then DAI in general. Like, I've liked, Pulsechain, obviously Hex, for a while now. I've been in it, but really learning about DAI was actually new to me, to be honest, in the past, maybe. I've heard Richard talk about it a lot, but being in this community, PDI really got me to kind of, I don't want to say deep dive. I need to a little bit, but just learning from Coach and, all you guys, it's great because just learning how that decentralized stablecoin, that is the missing freaking piece right there, man. And if you really tie everything together, it just makes perfect sense. It makes perfect freaking sense on how it works. You need that stable. Because everything fluctuates. And like, if I want to buy a car tomorrow, I can't buy a car with with Bitcoin or Pulsechain because it goes up and down. The volatility is there. You need that. You need that stable. But for example, with USDC, it's a company. They could manipulate. They could do all these things. And look at BNB's, like, CZ. He's a fraud in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? And like how he has his stable coin, it's so trash. And with PDI, how it's decentralized, it makes all the perfect sense, man. And if you tie everything together, it's with the world events and everything that's going on right now, it's a perfect storm for freedom for everyone to transact in general, I think. And it's great, it just takes time. People are so lazy to learn. People have a attention span as long as the Instagram reel. It's preconditioned. They only want something in 15 seconds. You can't get that. People can't even read 2 pages of a book nowadays. They just want it fast in your face. And if you get people to really sit there and understand it and want to learn, it's right in front of your face, and it's great. I love it.
Yeah, dude, that's one thing. You said a lot there. I agree with all that. One thing about like Hex and the timing that came out like really stood out to me. And what you said, that like with delayed gratification, it's not only the yield that you're getting, like that you're having to delay and like enjoy, but it's also like the timing of where we are with the whole crypto industry, and that like in a sense you're delaying, like waiting for the rest of people to catch on and it to become more mainstream. And it's like the longer you hold on, you're not just getting yield, but the more of Metcalf's law might take effect, the more potential it has each and every day to grow, and like more people come in and find out about Hex and the whole ecosystem. So that really stood out to me, like kind of that double effect from the yield, delayed gratification. It plays out in more than one way. And man, I just ended like I've got a few short stakes going too, like long and short, and I just ended a 30-day stake today, and it cost like I think it was less than a penny. I don't even think it showed 1 cent. It was like 50 pulse or something, or 70 pulse. So it's like, dude, it's just like Hex on Pulsechain is so perfected. It's amazing, man. But yeah, I liked everything. Yeah, dude, people's attention spans, it's kind of getting scary. Like, I don't know. I'm still like, I still read books and articles and stuff, but like in general, it just seems like, yeah, it's like it's almost like you got to be a salesman or something, or like you're doing an interview. Like you gotta whatever you're trying to get somebody to pay attention to. It's almost like you gotta sell it, like, and sum it up and have it ready to go in a package in 30 seconds, or they're not gonna. They're not
I
gonna
agree.
like
And it's
give a
sad
shit.
because sometimes I try to explain to people basic concepts and the people I love, and it's crazy because like 15 seconds in, literally, or 1 minute in, it's like I lost them, and they want the answer now, or it's like they get bored, and it's like, what? You know what I mean? You're just sitting there, you're watching TV for 3 hours you're watching, you're freaking scrolling through your social media for nothing, watching a bunch of garbage all day long, and it's like this is real life stuff here, and I lost you, and it's like, how, but
Yeah,
it's all
dude.
preconditioned, man. It's all preconditioned. It's
So
by design. It's sad.
sometimes I feel like some people it'll work on, and like you just got to keep chipping away and keep chipping away. It's exhaustive. It's exhausting, but like keep chipping away here and there, and it's like, that's how eventually onboarded some people into crypto. But and then like a handful like get really into it, and then like the majority so far, it seems like they learn the basics and they're kind of like, whatever, I'm holding it and I'll just see what happens kind of thing. But yeah, man, it takes a lot of chipping away, and it's exhaustive. And yeah, you're right. Like some people, you almost, it seems like you'll never get through, and then God knows how many attempts it would take. But yeah, they're like preconditioned, and sometimes it's like with all the things we're talking about, with just like the system, the way the system's designed and stuff. Like it's almost like some people think we're the crazy ones, like the people that can see through the bullshit. But it's like, I don't know, man. It's like I had most of these realizations when I was in college and like watching a lot of George Carlin, and got interested. I was like doing a semester abroad in Spain, and I had a shit ton of time on my hands. And I forgot how I started going down this rabbit hole. I don't know if it started with George Carlin, but then I started watching all these videos on the Federal Reserve, and just like the fourth industrial revolution. And I don't know. I'm trying to think of the name of the YouTube video. I went down this rabbit hole and stuff like with Jacques Fresco and who the hell else? I don't know. Just monetary policy in general, and understanding fiat currency. Oh, Rand. It was, dude. It was during it was Rand Paul, actually, Ron Paul's father. It was like during the 2008 debates or something. And I think Rand Paul was like the outsider, kind of like Bernie Sanders would be on the Democrats, but Rand Paul was like libertarian on the Republican side, and like he was speaking about a gold standard back in 2008, which ironically enough, like he kept talking. Like if you go to old Ron Paul videos, like he rips on the Federal Reserve and like on fiat currency and how all these endless wars are going to screw us over. But they all looked like he was the crazy Republican at the time in 2008, like against like George Bush and all the status quo Republicans. But like, I don't know, man. So I started going down this rabbit hole, and yeah, I guess it was like junior or senior year of college. I started like 15 years ago, like, or whatever. Started to really understand things, and yeah, it's just like, I don't know, man. It's just weird. It just seems like so many people don't ask these critical questions, or just can't even stop. You can't see something that you can't even see the cracks in. Like I don't know how to explain it. It's just like, it's got to like smack you in the face, or you got to be at the right place, or you got to be looking for it, or somebody's got to show you. Somebody's got to shine a light and like light your candle. Somebody's candle has to light your candle. You have to be enlightened enlightened to enlighten somebody else, and they have to listen.
Going to happen. It's going to happen. I think I kind of was talking about it yesterday in the space here when they were kind enough to give me the floor. I feel that it's going to happen. Systemic crash, and that's going to wake everyone's game up and really question what's going on when their money is worth nothing. I think it's going to happen sooner than later, to be honest. And I think that's when people are going to look for an alternative. And when they look for the alternative, that's when we got to heal and tell people and show people. I think they'll be more inclined to learn and listen at that time, because what happens, in my opinion, is people won't listen until you mess with their pockets. You could literally do anything. Some people don't care, man. They just care about what's in their pockets. Until you mess with people's pockets, then I think they're going to start questioning things. And once people get smacked with a big crash in 401k, pension funds, things of that nature, people will really ask questions and try to figure things out. Once they do, it'll open up and it'll go viral in a way where it's going to make people like, okay, we got to get an alternative. And when they look for that, it's going to be here, and that's when this community is so great, in my opinion. They're going to be like, welcome aboard. Now you want to listen? I got you. Let me show you the way,
Yeah, man. See, I don't know how that's all going to go down. I've been thinking about that forever. Like, how is that going to go down?
I could
Like,
explain it to you.
is it going to be gradual? Is it going to be sudden? Like, is it going to be too late for those people? Like, see, I don't even know, like, if it's even a ridiculous question for me to be like, why do people have so much in their 401k? Is it smart to do,
It's what they were taught. It's what they were
where are you
taught,
gonna,
man. It's what they were taught.
wait, yeah, it's like, but it's like, dude, what are you gonna do with that money 30 years from now? Like, what do you actually think it's gonna be worth? Like, do they even think about like all the different funds they're invested in? Like, what's that gonna be worth 30 years from now? What's your fiat gonna be worth 30, 40 years from now? Like, are people thinking this all through? It's like, I don't know, man. And it's like, my dad's from he's a baby boomer. It's like, I don't even know how to begin to have that conversation with my dad. It's such a sensitive subject. And I mean, I've convinced him to get some Pulse, and he's mainly like more conservative, so he likes Bitcoin. But like, I've convinced him to get some Hex and some Pulse and Pulsex, but like, mainly he's in Bitcoin. But like, I don't know how to talk to him about, like, I've told him my thoughts on fiat, and he kind of gets it, but like in the back of his head, I can tell he doesn't think it's actually going to get wrecked, I guess. Like, he's open to the idea, but like, I don't think he thinks his 401k or like that the government or whoever would ever allow it to get completely wrecked, I guess. And
Yeah, I think. Go ahead. Sorry.
the last part I was going to ask you your opinion on, do you think that they could find some way to use a CBDC as like a bridge to save the dollar from destruction? Like, is that mathematically
Won't happen.
possible?
Won't happen. They're gonna try it, but it's not gonna happen. It's already.
Is
I
that
think the
mathematically
narrative.
possible?
Yeah, it
Or,
is mathematically possible. I think, obviously, because they're just
uh,
looking for a way out. Because
yeah,
the CBDC, in a way, is to just print infinite liquidity. Market makers in the equities market, they need infinite liquidity, right? So I think that the CBDC was a way that they wanted to put it out there to basically control. To provide liquidity, to pump the markets in a way where they can not have it crash. For their own benefit. Obviously, the
that's
inflation will be
real
there.
sketch. That's
But
really
but
sketchy.
it's. I don't think it's going to happen. I think the narrative is already. Don't want it. Crypto in general is too big, in my opinion. Not market cap wise, but as far as known wise, that I don't think that. I think everyone's like so against it. You have politicians talking against it now because crypto is big to the point where they want to. Obviously, they're talking about it in the elections and things like that. In my opinion, so I don't think that the CBD. I think the CBDCs are going to be. It's going to be a complete flop. They tried to put it
Yeah,
out there. They're going to try to do it, but I don't think so. And if you look at it, there's two different types of CBDCs. There's the wholesale CBDC and the retail. So I think that they're going to want to just try to sprinkle CBDC in a way of to the lower class, as far as like, here you go, here's some food stamps and CBDC, here's some welfare and CBDC, child support, whatever it is in CBDCs, to kind of get people to accept it, or like, here's a grant, or some type of free money to get people. Oh, I'll take it. It's free money, just to kind of get them conditioned into it. But I don't think that's going to happen. But what they really wanted to use it for, if you look into it on the Federal Reserve site, it says there's a wholesale CBDC, and that's the scary part, because that's when the banks and the institutions are going to move money around, and that's where they're going to create the money from, and you're not even going to see that. And that, I think, it was what they really wanted to push. I don't think it's going to happen, though. In my opinion, I think that the crypto narrative is too strong and it'll backfire, because too many big guys in crypto, as far as in Bitcoin and things like that, and ETH, they don't want it. So I really don't think it's going to happen.